What's up, guys? I wanted to talk a little bit about deloads, but everybody's familiar with training deloads. But what I'm talking about is when you're prepping for a show, a prep deload. So if you're prepping, the one thing that, in my opinion, is the most valuable tool you could have in your toolbox is time. Because if you don't give yourself enough time to prep, it can really create a lot of stress towards your shows. If you're like, you know what, I need to drop 20 pounds in 12 weeks. Well, right there, you're already in your mind going, you know what, I only have 12 weeks, so every day I have to make it count. And because if I don't make each day of these 12 weeks count, then I'm not going to reach my goal and be at my best in 12 weeks time. But if you were to say, you know what, I'm going to take 24 weeks to lose 20 pounds, or even 30 weeks to lose 20 pounds. Now all of a sudden, that stress level was here, now it's down to here, and it allows you time. If you, let's say you have 6 months to lose 20 pounds, you have the time to incorporate prep deloads. And you're like, what the heck is a prep deload? If you're pushing day in day out during prep, because you're in a caloric deficit, sometimes cardio if it's really high for certain people or whatever, and if your training intensity is really high, let's just say, if you're doing that, week in, week out, week in, week out, eventually your body's going to be like, well, wait, hold up, I'm starting to really feel the effects of this, and my energy's starting to get low. My mood, as far as I'm starting to be irritable, and when you're irritable, you could really take that out on your loved ones. And your performance in the gym could suffer if your energy's low and you're just not feeling good, you're lethargic. So having a week, let's just say, this is something I do personally for my preps, and also if my athletes come to me ahead of time and they give me enough time to work with them, then I will incorporate a prep deload, a week, where we say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and increase your food, I'm going to decrease your cardio if your cardio is high or whatever, and I'm going to give you a deload, training deload. You're going to actually lower down your intensity and all that in the gym for a week. And sure, I add food in, decrease cardio. Now all of a sudden that week is much easier than the previous weeks, the weeks that we were pushing, or what I like to call it is putting my foot on the gas pedal and really just driving that car hella fast, like being aggressive and driving that car super fast, kind of like a race car driver going on a straightaway. He just lets it all hang out, boom, pedal to the metal, and boom, down the straightaways. But eventually, like I said, when you're coming up to that turn, and you need to slow the car down. So a prep deload for, it could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, it could be a day, 2 days, whatever the case is, depends on the circumstance. Let's just call it a week here. It's, what, maybe I just need to increase carbs a little bit, increase the fats, lower down cardio, give them a week to really recover. Like after that week's over with, they're like, oh wow, I feel so much better. I have more energy. My motivation's higher now. I'm because basically, yeah, I mean, when your food is low and you're really active, for long periods of time, eventually, you just get wore out and motivation gets lower. Your mood sucks. You get irritable. So having that week where you just, I got more food coming in. I don't have to, do as much cardio. I'm not in the gym killing myself. You feel so much better. You're like, oh wow, I feel a lot better now. And at that point, when you're feeling good again, well, you're more motivated to push even harder, or you're ready to go again. Basically, you come out of that turn, and guess what? You get to go down the back straightaway now, or however you say it in race car terms. I'm not a NASCAR enthusiast, so I don't know the terminology, but I think you know where I'm going. So there's times when you need to push or put your foot on the gas pedal, and there's times that you need to put your foot off the gas. Take your foot off the gas, put your foot on the brake maybe, and cruise into that, cruise around those turns and regroup and feel good again, and then push again. So I'm sure there's going to be people saying, well, you know what, that's not You're not working hard enough towards your goals. You're not going to attain your goals because you're not working hard. You know what? By taking a week off, it allows you to work hard over the long haul. Because eventually, if you don't, I've done preps where I've done my 12 weeks prep, I've lost my 20 something pounds, and I show up to the stage looking flatter as shit. I don't feel good. I look unhealthy. I look drawn on stage. Like people will say, you don't look too healthy. Um, in 2011, I prepped for 47 weeks, and people are like, "You prep for 47 weeks? You're gonna lose muscle mass by doing that." No, because my foot is not on the gas pedal. Although I'm not flooring that gas pedal for 47 weeks. I picked my spots to push. I picked my spots to back off, and those weeks where I backed off, it kept me going, and it allowed me to feel as normal as possible and not feel like, I feel like death all the time, or I feel like shit all the time. I'm moody, cranky, and just trying to get into the gym. I don't have the energy. So the times I did back off, it allowed me to keep going, and it also allowed me to be at my very best in 2011. I was by far the best I've ever been, as far as not only physically, like the way my body looked, but also mentally. I felt good, as opposed to previous preps where I always felt like worn down, tired, lethargic, and just couldn't wait for the prep to be over with so I could eat. I mean, that right there, that's not the feelings you want to have. Sure, there's going to be times when you have to dig, you got to push, and it's going to get hard, and you're going to feel that. But to do it week in, week in, week in, week in, week out, week out, week out, week out, eventually you're going to break. You're going to break. So allowing yourself the time to be able to have those prep deloads, whether it be a day, 2 days, 3 days, a week, maybe 2 weeks, to rejuvenate, to revigorate, to get your motivation back, to get your performance up, to do all that, to keep you going even longer and better. So, in a nutshell, it's working hard, but also being smart about it and knowing when to push and when not to. So, that is kind of my take on prep deloads. And as far as training deloads, if this is not prep and you're going into a training deload, and it's very common for people to say, I hate deloads because I don't get to push hard in the gym and it's boring and all that. But you know what? That's a perfect time to work on your exercise form. You're using lighter loads, so really focus in on your technique. So create that goal when you're going into a deload, that this is a week I really hone in on that, on my form. Because if you improve your form during a deload, it's only gonna help you moving forward when you start lifting heavy again. You're like, you know what? Now you're lifting heavier again, but with better form. You're more efficient. You become a better lifter. And if you're a better lifter, you become a better bodybuilder. So, keep that all in mind. But basically, that's it, guys. I just want to kind of give you my insights to that, and you better believe that this prep, I'm going to be incorporating those prep deloads. So, as a matter of fact, Christmas is that day where I have a prep deload. But anyways, guys, that's it. Hope you have a happy holidays if I don't talk to you before then, and we'll talk soon.